Why, hello, and welcome back to another episode of Voice of the Rings. I'm your hosting guide, Zollin Ironshield, my friends, and welcome back. Alright, today, my friends, we're going to do a quick little commander overview of, and like to call him Peter Jackson, but, alright, and I will explain that. I've explained it in a few videos of why I say this. But we're going to be talking about one of the evil leaders, where is he? Here he is. We're going to be talking about Azru-Khor, the pirate chieftain, basically, is what he is. We're going to talk about him, go review him. I usually, the reason I think he looks like Peter Jackson is because he looks just like the character that Peter Jackson plays in Return of the King, where the spot is when Aragorn asks Legolas to shoot a warning shot past the bowman's right, or the boat guy, right, and Gimli hits his bow and it misses the captain, but it shoots the guy in the back, and the guy's like, "Oh!" and like falls over. That was Peter Jackson, right? That was his little thing in the Return of the King. I think it's a nod at him because this is a made-up character, so I think this is a nod at Peter Jackson. That's my guess. And again, I am doing a video today without Jethros for helping me out with this, so I don't really enjoy doing these ones about heroes without Jethros, so I'm just going to do this one, and in the future will be more with me and Jethros doing videos about heroes, because he's kind of the wizard when it comes to build strategies. But I do know this guy, and he's not too difficult, so we'll talk about him a little bit here. Alright, so basically, he focuses on pirates, right? We got to talk about units with him, right? So if you look at his, the warship captain, right? So one allied unit recovers 23% HP, removes all debuffs from that army, right? So that's pretty awesome. So basically what we have to think about is, with that alone right there, almost makes him realize that he might be good with just an army of pirates, right? Like, that may be what you're aiming for. Discipline, army defense, right? And then he's got clear-headed, helps with tips, real generic thing. You wouldn't use that if you're using it for combat, obviously. Raider, ranged units have a 3.5% chance of dealing additional 2.6% burn damage after dealing damage. Okay, this is very cool. Now, an important thing to think about, is to think about pirates themselves, right? So if we go to, let me go to, can I look at pirate units just through this? Don't know if I can. I wanted to look at pirate units to find, give me one sec. Okay, so I found some pirates. Well, these are the corsair. These are the upgrades above pirates. So basically, yes, they are melees. So one thing you have to think about, right, you need to think about the units you're going to use with a hero, right? This is the very important part. So normal attacks deal burn damage, right? But again, we just found out, and they have a chance to avoid damage. But we just found out that they're melee units. So what does that mean when we jump back to our piratey hero? Remember how it said it'll increase ranged damage? So that is something we're going to have to think about when we're using this guy. That it says ranged units, 3.5% chance to do additional burn damage. So I think what that means is if you're using archers, I don't believe the archer has to be doing fire damage to use this, because it's just ranged units have a chance to do additional fire damage. So it's buffing your ranged units. So maybe you use pirates with him because of the I don't even, does he do he has a burn, right? Against well, you know, it might be best not even, you don't even have to use pirates, but against all enemies, burn damage is increased. So since pirates do burn damage, this will upgrade pirates and corsairs, right? But it will also work to use some ranged units, so it basically turns a lot of your ranged units into doing fire damage, which is pretty cool to think about. So you can think about some cool little like scenarios you do with characters, and then this would buff them, right, for more damage, including his own stuff. Also, he has this ability, 2 different targets he hits, deals an additional bunch of burn damage, and targets sustained burn damage, right? So that's pretty cool, right? The debuff kind of stuff. And then we'll go into, if you have him rank 3 or higher, then we have the Speak Creator? I don't even know how to say that. But anyway, the commander poison and burn damage is increased, all right? So if his damage. So this is if you're building more for him to do poison and fire damage, which I'm sure is very effective against like Ents, right? And then the commander's physical damage cannot be decreased further. That's pretty cool, all right? So that's pretty cool because if you notice, physical damage goes down with that. Basically, I believe what this is in saying to us, Commander's physical damage cannot be decreased further. It's one of two things: either that there's a cap, and basically, even though this is reducing his physical damage, no other hero or character can reduce it more, or it puts it back up. I believe it's the first, though. I believe that no one can debuff his physical damage more, right? He does a flat lower physical damage, but then he's doing magic and fire and poison damage too. All right. So next thing, he's got Treason. First 4 rounds against 2 enemy targets, there's a 14-point chance to succumbing to madness each round. Whoa, that's really good, because if you times that by 7, that's way up there. That's a huge 2 enemy targets. That's really, really good. So that's super good. I see why one person was using Mummikills with him, because they're so tanky and powerful. So he's buffing them with tank stats, right? And giving them heals, and then he's doing this at the beginning so they can just rampage, basically. And then we got Trickery. Against one target, deal a bunch of 60% physical damage, and imposes a 50% chance of succumbing to madness for 1 round. Again, if we think about this, if you've maxed out this to get this is already going to be lowering your physical damage, right? To trade for poison and physical. So this isn't going to be a whole lot of damage. You're going to be wanting it for that CC, that madness ability. So he's a pretty interesting hero. Let's go now. If you have rank 5, what are we going to be using? Corsairs of Umbar. Each round, allied ranged units. Okay, we're back to ranged units, so he likes to use ranged units. Have a 3-point chance to attack 2 times, but only at minimum damage. Okay, so I believe what we're talking about here is each round, you can have your characters attack more often, but they're going to be doing it at minimum damage. Now the question is, with that wording, does that mean that the allied ranged units do minimum damage both hits, the actual hit? I don't think so. I believe what that is entailing is that you hit them once, your regular damage, and there's a chance you hit them again for your minimum damage. I believe. Chance to attack 2 times, but only at minimum damage. Or maybe when it triggers, it does attack twice, but they're both minimum damage. That's a weird one. That is a weird one. I'd have to do testing. I haven't tested him yet because I don't have the hero. So if you know and you've tested him, leave a comment. That'll enlighten me and everybody else that wants to know about this hero. He also gets a little focus buff there. And what does he have here? Logistics, siege damage, okay? Well, that's if you're going to be sieging. Realistically, if you're going to be using him for fighting, you're not going to be using that. But if you're going to be sieging, I guess that's nice. And then down here below, right underneath here, is Evil Alliance. Evil men and orcs, damage received, reduced. So that's good too. This, honestly, in my opinion, this rank 5 tree isn't very good. Like, I don't feel like if you're using ranged units with fire damage, if you're focusing on the fire damage because they're doing fire damage because of Raider, that might be better, depending on how that stacks. I haven't used a lot of fire damage, right? Another unit you guys could use with him too would be the Alchemists. They do fire damage. But I don't believe the Alchemists are ranged. Let's check. Now I'm thinking about it. They're great for siege, though. Why am I looking in the wrong place? Okay. Looking at items for some reason. Alright, let's go into my characters here real quick. And this is just my sieging army. No, it's a melee. So that would not help with range, but they do fire damage. So the fire damage bonus would increase this. So they may be good with him. But again, he seems like he wants to use range units from all those range buffs and turning your range stuff into fire damage. So it seems like, I feel like there's 2 or 3 different builds you could do. You could focus on where he does damage and he has melee units that do fire damage and you buff the fire damage. Possibly. Or you could go with the build of him doing a lot of the damage with archers. I believe the one my gut feeling is the one I would use is the one where he does fire. You buff your units, right? And he does damage with powder keg, and you buff your fire units as top tree. Into this one where he's doing extra damage, also doing more stunning with that, right? And another trickery buff. And then maybe also put a couple points down here to make your front line a little tankier. These two possibly. I don't know about using this rank 5 one when you're maxed out. Because remember, you can get 4 more points from that imparting wisdom too. Don't forget that, guys. In the tavern now. Don't sell your items for gold. That's not good yet unless they change something. This is interesting. You could do the Corsair of Umbar if you're doing full ranged units, and you test this and it seems to work good for you with your Raider buff, right? For your ranged. you can test it. I haven't tested it yet. Logistics, that's not, you don't use that if you're fighting. And then this one could also be good. So you could do these last two into maybe ranged. And, you know, if you're doing full army support, those ones. Or you could do where you do his into this one into having powder keg as well. And then a fuel. So that would be my recommendations for what I think you'd use on him. Again, I don't have him to test him. Sorry, guys, I don't have infinite money to get every hero in the game. But again, it's half luck too, right, when you're rolling. And I'm not rolling for evil. I'm focusing on good heroes, as you can see. So maybe next season I'll try to roll some evil ones and try to get some. But again, I do have Gothmog. He's pretty cool. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day in Middle-earth. Thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Voice of the Rings, talking about that one fiery hero with the dark side, who I believe is Peter Jackson. Compliment to Peter Jackson's character in the Return of the King. And you guys have a wonderful day in Middle-earth. Don't forget to click the subscribe button right there. Next episode for this will be up there in the top left, and the Lotro Tales over there. Check out my other content. Don't forget to subscribe. You all are awesome. You have a wonderful day in Middle-earth, my friends. And I love the server I'm on. You guys are all awesome, including my Division 55 fellowship. Have a good day, you guys. Bye.